with the launch of these books. If you ask me, it's a dual celebration today, in the first day of the International Nurses Week. To celebrate ourselves and to launch these books, to launch them. Is that okay? I know we are students, and I know some nurses are hidden in the house, and these books will go home today. Of course, there is a book for everybody. If you cannot launch 10, you can launch 5. If you wouldn't launch 5, you could launch 2. And at all, 9 baht, you can launch 1. Is that okay? That would be good. Please make yourself comfortable. Remembering that we have 5 books, I am not reviewing any of them because the reviewers know themselves. Mine is only the chairman's remarks. We hear a lot of things, but I want you to remember, make a woman. Can you see it from your seat? DNRs. Can you see it? Oh my God, I told somebody, can I say Wawi or Ooh? And successful love making. Oh my. And then pregnancy support. Oh, yeah. Have I finished? Which one is the main? Say again. I know you don't know what that means, but sincerely, at the end of this book launch, if you successfully take 2, only if you are like me, you have done great. You must have participated fully, not only in reading, but spreading the good news and celebrating in us. Okay, don't do. Thank you very much. Stay tight and enjoy yourself.
Once again, a round of applause to our chairman. Why are you all sitting so quiet? Once again, a round of applause to our chairman. This is Nigeria. We don't say Nigeria, we don't say like picture. My wife wants to come. To say our marriage party, even where you sit down for us this place. This place for us. But believe me, I guess you have a lot of impact in this book review before you go. And quickly, we'll be going to the book review. And first on our list to carry out the book review is The Successful Love Making by Nurse Ada Oji. Please, round of applause for her.
Raise your feet up. So over the weekend, just do something beautiful for yourself. love making. When my colleague Nafcon, when she, published the book, like I would use the word publish on our platform. I saw the topic and I was making fun of her. I was laughing at her. A few of our colleagues on our platform, we just started, laughing at her, making fun of her. That was why she now decided that she was going to make me take the review. And I'm honored. I was able to go through the book and it's a good read. So I will start off by talking about the author, Nurse Onu Adesua Joan, a nurse midwife with qualifications RN with a bachelor's nursing degree and also her MSc in progress. And she's also a founder of the Stepped Up Incorporation and Pregnancy Support Initiative, amongst other foundations that she's been opportune to run and also sponsor. And if you're also in need of a mentorship program on speaking, speaking, you can contact her too, because she's I call her the nurse entrepreneur. Apart from her nursing profession, she has other things that she also good at. So the successful love making, the target audience for me, after going through the book, I understood a married couple and singles. When I mean singles that are ready to get married. Maybe you're in courtship or, you have that serious person in your life. I think this book is something you should go through. It will help a lot. Especially in a society like ours where the whole idea of love making, the whole idea of sex is kind of like, we find people are rigid about it. In Africa, in Nigeria, our society, it has placed us in that position where people are rigid. When you mention love making, there's this okay. When you mention sex, everybody's like, okay, they cringe and all that. But this is a good read. I would advise that we pick it up. And it's not bulky. It's about go to chapter 15 and less than 50 pages the book. So for me, I look at it, the central idea of the book, or like what I understood from the book, our main aim or the purpose of the book is actually helping couples achieve pleasure as regards to love making. Or let me not use the word love making. Now let me just go straight and use it. We're all nurses here, so these are things we do in health talk when we speak to our clients, especially in accidental and all that, when it has to do with sex. Helping couples achieve pleasure, husbands and wives, helping couples communicate better. Because for me, I look at it, in order for you to, as a man or as a female, especially we females, in order for us to achieve that whole pleasure, to get to orgasm, you have to communicate what you want to your partner. Don't just sit there and assume that he knows what he's doing. Most times they actually don't know what they're doing. They actually do not know what you as a female you're thinking about. It's just them, once they get there, they just feel, okay, I'm good. They put themselves together and move ahead. While you, the female, you're sitting there, you're frowning. You cannot open your mouth to tell your man or to tell your partner, oh, baby, or whatever name you call him, please do it like this or do it like that, So this book will help you do that. Then also helping couples satisfy themselves to get to that understanding, that satisfaction, the whole idea what love making should be. Then finally, it also gives us an understanding of the biblical concept of love making. So you could also understand, the whole idea from the Bible, the purpose of why love making was created by God. The whole thing is that when it's one of, I think for coming from the Bible. It's some gifts. I'll use the word gifts that God gave us as humans to enjoy. I mean, all of us here, we're all adults, and I'm sure everybody here is sexually active. And when I say it is a gift, we all know how enjoyable it is. That is just the truth. So, whether married or not, which is actually wrong, but the society we find ourselves in today, everybody is sexually active. So, when I talk about how it is, you understand what I'm talking about. The joy, the pleasure, what happens, the whole thing about it. So what my likes in the book, what I enjoy about the book is it's easy to read. It's an easy read and it's relatable. You can relate to it as a person. For me, as a female, I could relate to it, being the fact that I have friends around that most times, as females and as nurses, we get to meet clients, we get to meet even your friends, our fellow colleagues, when you know how we are as nurses. From having one discussion, it gets to the other discussion, then if something leads to the other, then we start talking about sex and all that. You even get to find out that, you meet that one person that has never climaxed in her life, and when I say that, I mean it's 100. There's that one person amongst your friends or amongst your colleagues that does not even have an idea of what to climax means. So the book is an easy read. You can relate to it. It's straight to the point. And something beautiful about the book that I love was that the author was able to use herself for illustration. When you get the book, you would see she used herself for illustration, as in how she was able to be comfortable in her skin, to be able to enjoy having sex, love making, whatever word we choose to call it. Then, for me, I see that the title of the book is also catchy, because when you say successful love making, it's something you want to read. So that was a beautiful one also. And being the fact that in Nigeria, or rather the African society, especially among women, it is something that is shied upon. It is something that we frown, once you mention the whole thing about sex, everybody is, and especially for women. Our society has made it a way that women cannot express themselves. Women cannot say anything. It's the way your husband wants it, you can't say anything. Even when you now decide to express yourself, there's this stigma, or there's this way they look at you. She's a prostitute. She's a bad person. She's that. There's a name that follows it. For you, you just being able to express yourself, to say how you feel, to say how you want to be satisfied. So it's a good one. Then, it also, for the husbands too, in most times the African society has made it in a way that the husband or the man is everything and all, especially especially when it comes to bedroom matters. Once the man has, satisfied himself, most times, most men don't even get that opportunity to ask their partners, to ask their wives okay, baby, are you good? Was it okay? Once they just do it, they are okay with themselves, they just turn to the other side and begin to doze off, or they either begin to doze off, or they just turn to the other side and start they are done for the day, leaving the woman stranded, leaving her hanging. And because of the way the society has, the way society has tied us, we're not able to express ourselves, we're not able to say anything. You're just there, you're just frowning. Maybe for us that they are even working, a night before when it happens, when Oga has not satisfied you properly, you get to work the following morning, you're squeezing your face, you're frowning, you're, transference on your patient, that patient that comes in to see you. Next, because Oga has not satisfied you properly, and you have not been able to express yourself. You're just there squeezing your face, frowning like someone, meanwhile, it is us. The book helps us, helps us to express ourselves. Like I would suggest we as females to get this book. It's going to really help us as females. For everybody, but especially the females. Because why I'm emphasizing on females is because of the way our society has made it that women cannot express themselves. And they can't express themselves. When it comes to satisfaction, they have no idea, even what needs to be done. Most times, they have no idea what needs to be done, how most things work. They just stay there and just assume that, okay, it's just for the penis to be inserted into the vagina and then everything ends that way, which is really, really not funny. Then, the next part of my review was her use of English. The use of English was really simple and straight to the point. And it's something that, even a layman on the street can understand. So that's one beautiful thing about the book. No plenty of, serious grammar. It's just something that once you pick it, under 30 minutes, it's not, under 30 minutes, you're done with it. The English is simplified, straight to the point, concise, and, it's something you can relate to. Then for me, my conclusions would be, it's a beautiful short read. Then the best part of it is the author's ability to capture issues in marriages, which if you go through the book, she was able to capture issues in marriages, and relating them with love making. Such issues are like, food. She was able to explain to us, most times, food and love making. Most times, in order for you to even get Oga to be happy, to get Oga to that mood, you have to create something beautiful for him to eat. You have to create that atmosphere for love making. If your man is that type that likes food, you should go all out, make something special for him. Even ask him before he comes home. You put a call through, you put a message to him. Oh, baby, what is it you want to eat? He will tell you. You make it ready. He comes back. Give him that. A man that has his tummy filled up. When you start, moving around, shaking your butt around the house, your guy knows what you want, and then you go. Like for me, when I was speaking with her about it, this was what we really talked about, the communication part. For me, communication doesn't just, start in marriage. Communication starts even when you're courting, not just in the marriage. You should be able to communicate everything and anything to your partner while you people are courting, because it is from that communication in courtship that sets the foundation for whatever it is that's going to happen in marriage. If you're able to, while courting, then okay, fine. Some people preach no sexual intercourse before marriage, no love making before marriage, but for me, I do not buy that idea. I'm being honest. Yes, I'm being honest. I don't buy that idea of no sexual contact before marriage. If I'm not going to have something with my partner before marriage, how do I know what to be able to do for me in marriage? Yes. How do I know what to do? I'm trying to, this is my own point of view. You're saying you shouldn't try or you shouldn't have sex before marriage. How do you know that what that man is capable of doing for you when you're married? Because once you're married, that's the end of it. You cannot go out of your marriage, start cheating on your husband. Why? Because you cannot satisfy you sexually. So before marriage, these are some things. For me, I think you should be able to, how long your husband or your partner something is, whether your partner can satisfy you, can take you to that place. So this is it. So these are the communications you should be able to put. All that, as a woman, most times I advise you, you as a woman, you should be able to know those interesting spots on your body that, once they touch you, once they tickle your fancy there, it turns you on and all that. So with all knowing these things, you can now let your partner know, okay, maybe if you touch me behind my ear, it gives me this tingly feeling. If you touch me on my lips, if you touch me on my nose, if you touch me on my butt, if you touch me on my hand, it gives me this tingly feeling. Then he's able to know that, okay, when I touch my partner here, or when I touch my partner here, these are part of the places that, turns her on, that, puts her in the mood. These are the communications. You should be able to let your partner know, let your partner understand. Then the part of money also. Money and love making. You see some women are like, this is where, for me, I think this is where the part of your love language is. This is why they say, you should be able to know what your love language is. There are 5 love languages, and part of amongst them is, gifting. There are some women that like to be gifted. And for me, I think that's where this whole thing of money comes in place. When you give her that money, you see her, she's all happy, she's all excited. You even tell her to hang her leg in the ceiling, she'll be able to do that for you, and that whole happiness and all that. So these are the things, you should be able to do, you should be able to understand, you should be able to explain to our partners and let them know that these are the things that makes us happy. These are the things that once they are done to us, then you get that full maximum, you get the maximum, you get us 100% to be able to get to that cloud 9 place that it takes, love making takes you to. So, Nasoni, congratulations. And for us nurses, I think we should get this, really. We should get the successful love making, especially we that are in the antenatal units. It's something also we could use to teach our clients also. Thank you very much.
Once again, a round of applause. This one will really touch me.